In order to use the Tempo native app on Snowflake, simply navigate to the app marketplace and search for the Tempo listing. Once you've found it, go ahead and click Start Trial. This will initiate the install. Make sure that you have the correct application name selected and you've assigned a warehouse to it. Then move to the next prompt by hitting Start Trial. You'll need to wait a minute for Tempo to actually spin up inside your Snowflake account. Once this process is complete, you will be able to see this account in your Apps tab on the left-hand sidebar. This will bring me to the page where I can actually set up my data warehouses and all the other things Tempo needs to run properly. I'm going to go ahead and click Select Warehouse. We're going to set this up as default warehouse for this run. Next, we need to grant a bunch of permissions. These are just the things that the app needs to run properly in your Snowflake account. Go ahead and click the Grant button, and you should see a green word Granted pop up next to each. Then click Activate. Now we can see a whole bunch of different commands, the README, we can view our privileges, we can see a lot of things that go into configuration of this app. One important tab to notice is cost management. Depending on your organization's guidelines, this tab will be very useful for you because it will show you the compute used and how you've been consuming credits on the Snowflake platform. We're going to go ahead and click Launch App now. This begins the spin-up process. This process can take several minutes, but once it's done, you will be brought to a Streamlit application inside your Snowflake instance. Okay, and here we are. This is the actual DeepTempo app running in Snowflake. In order to use Tempo, we're going to click on the Threat Response tab. We're going to see a few different options here in this drop-down. Now, it's important to note that while all of these options are runnable, there is some order to how we do this. For example, I need to understand what sequences are before I can investigate them, so the incident classification step is typically the first step we need to run. I'm going to go ahead and select that and click Execute Command. Now that the incident classification has successfully completed, let's go ahead and dig a little deeper. Before moving further on this page, I'm going to go to the Threat Overview page, and we're going to take a look at what's there. From here, we can see a number of different pieces of useful information. We can get a breakdown of threats, unclassified, classified, and if there are MITRE attack patterns that are known, we can actually see some of those correlated to the data. Next, we click on the Forensic Analysis tab. From here, we can run deeper analysis on the individual sequences that were constructed by the previous step. Over here, we can take a look at the actual sequences themselves, and you'll notice, if we scroll over, some of them are marked as malicious, with even MITRE tactics pointed out. Now, if I go back and I take one of these sequence IDs, I can create a query that will allow me to find similar events in the dataset. Let's go ahead and analyze that. This will take a moment, but once it's done, we should see a nice table of similar events that we can correlate to potentially malicious activity as well. Next, we have the Deep Investigation tab. If you want to figure out some specific events correlating to certain IPs, this is where you do it. I can select source and destination IPs and see all traffic either in a one-to-many or a one-to-one relationship. In this particular case, we can see this IP address had a whole bunch of different events associated with it, including collection events, impact events, and initial access. This is extremely useful when trying to get forensic information on a series of events. Next up, we have the Settings tab. From here, you can access filters, check settings, and even access the documentation. That concludes our overview of the Tempo app from DeepTempo.